Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Far Ghoul Knots. We're back again, and
Yes, we are.
I have my Broichi boys here, my Buroichi boys,
Booroichis, dude. The
uh,
Broichi boos.
the Broichi boos.
Scare go nuts.
Yeah. Um, if you recall, last spooky season, we jumped into some. Well, as we were going through Twin Peaks and things like that, we reviewed a few scary things. So Uzumaki was airing around this time. Um, we jumped into
That was only a year ago.
yeah.
Seems longer.
It does kind of, yeah. Those Uzumakis, I just kind of want to get them out of my mind. We went through the Universal Frankenstein movie
Yeah.
and the Universal Dracula
Ooh.
and the Wolfman.
Wolfman. Yeah.
And then a little bit after our Wolfman episode dropped on Halloween night. But after that, we kind of continued the spooky season into November, and we did some Exorcist back-to-backs. But I thought it would be kind of fun since another Frankenstein film is coming out by the famed director Guillermo Del Toro. He's doing his version of Frankenstein, which is going to be really exciting because I really like his kind of vision.
Right.
And his sensibilities with the kind of classic horror genre. I think he's the kind of
The darkness.
yeah he likes to stick to that nostalgic kind of sense of horror sensibilities, not like the new age like everything's got to be a jump scare. Like he loves the gothic horror, kind of like how Nosferatu was a little bit. It was more the mood of it being scary, which I appreciate. So, with all that said, we're going to jump into the 1994, is that what it was? Frankenstein?
Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, directed by Kenneth Branagh, and starring Kenneth Branagh and Robert De Niro.
Robert of Money, yes.
I'm excited.
It was definitely... I swear they were trying to make it a thing. Like, because this came out after Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Right.
So I think they were just trying to do like not a connected universe, but just like a string of stuff like that. But this did not do as well.
You can kind of see why. I mean, it's like trying to live in that same lane without having some of the, like, I don't know, whether it's decision making or just like financially what they were able to do, like for one reason or another, it doesn't live up to the same heights that frickin' Bram Stoker's Dracula does. But it still is entertaining, I think.
Yeah, and it's gonna bring some nostalgia back because we're kind of on a mid 90s nostalgia kick as our channel goes and things are coming out. We just recently did, by the time you're watching this, our video on the Windows 95 training with Jennifer Aniston and Matthew Perry is going to be dropping. So we'll already have that out there. So this is just
the Guyver.
And the Guyver, yeah, that's 91, so that's earlier. But yeah, we're sticking in the 90s, I guess, for the spooky season, which is kind of nice. I feel kind of at home in the 90s, because I was a little kid, so I mean, I was just kind of like, I would say, learning about scary movies being out there, and you know, this probably would have freaked me out if at my age in 94. But yeah, I mean, I'm down for whatever ride this movie is going to give us. It'll be a fun ride, especially when we're watching it together. So I'm excited. My main point on Frankenstein, the one we watched, it was called Mary Shelley's Frankenstein by Kenneth Branagh. It was trying to follow the trail of the Bram Stoker's Dracula, right? It was trying to kind of ride along that same path, be more maybe a direct adaptation of the source material,
Ish.
ish,
I
because
think stuff got changed.
yeah, it's drastically different than the original one with Boris. But I wanted to
They give
kind
a
of
bunch of like history of him with his sister wife or whatever. They
yeah,
give a lot of like backstory to that, or the book they.
that's what it was. Like I made mention that it was like a vehicle for Kenneth Branagh to just run around shirtless and all like
Yeah.
sweaty, and put his riz on towards Helena Bonham Carter.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
I wanted to just quickly, because I made a point when I was talking with Wilson about it, that in every adaptation of Frankenstein, you sympathize so much for the monster because he didn't ask to be created. He was just created out of a scientific urge of his creator. Like he just wanted to play God, and
Your death.
he wanted to cure death, but like the ramifications of that, the monster is always seen in any adaptation, whether you look at it from, the Monster Squad or cartoons or Abbott and Costello, Boris Karloff. The monster's never the villain. He's always like misunderstood. He doesn't understand why he's there and what he's doing. But in this Mary Shelley one, I didn't care about Robert De Niro Frankenstein. I was like, this guy is insane. Like he has the mind of an insane person, and he's going around murdering kids,
Literally,
and ripping people's hearts out of their chest. And I don't know if he's misunderstood. Like towards the end, you feel like maybe he was misunderstood a little bit, but I don't know if he was trying to just like, I want my daddy for myself, and nobody else can have my daddy. And then when his daddy dies, he gets sad. Like, okay, what?
He used like the body of a like violent criminal.
But he used the mind of a intellectual person. Like that's the thing. Like he was using the brain of one of his, professors.
Yeah. Apparently, the original screenplay from Frank Darabont is supposed to be really good. Guillermo Del Toro talks about it as something that he enjoys greatly, and it was one of his like kind of favorite versions or whatever.
Right.
But apparently it just got completely changed. He still gets a screenplay by, but also with someone named Steph Lady added onto it as well.
Okay.
But
so yeah, that was the main thing I wanted to take a point of discussing on that film, because I did like. I mean, another point was when we talked about it, it was along the same lines as Bram Stoker's, but in Bram Stoker's, Francis Ford Coppola does so much visual things, whereas this one is like the only technical thing they did with camera or like in-camera effects or something like that was like this pan around, like merry-go-round style of shot, like where they just made the viewer dizzy, and they did like circles were a big part of the film. Like there was circle sets, there was circle motion of the cameras, like there's no like cool shots like the eyes of Dracula, in the background watching the train go by on like a really red sunset. Like
but Tyler,
that's such a
stairs.
Yeah, I mean those stairs.
Kenny had his stairs.
The Ian Holm, Bilbo, he would use those stairs every shot he could. He would.
I mean,
lay down in them.
I would argue that is like one of the more striking opportunities for an image there. When like pretty much at the very end, when Kenneth Branagh is carrying her body up the stairs, and she's draped in that like super long red like I don't know if it's like satin or silk or whatever, but like,
Yeah.
and it's trailing up the stairs behind him, and with the sweeping music and flashing lights and thunder and all this. If you freeze framed that and then just like applied one of those like oil brush painting filters to it,
Mm-hmm.
boom, welcome to the Louvre, baby.
Well, yeah,
Like that's exactly what's happening in Ken's mind right there, I think.
I think what he's going for there was that artist, either like an MC Escher or like a who else did something like that, like the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, where it had like, you know, really weird,
Yeah, the heavy contrast and
yeah,
big
very heavy,
shadows and...
exactly. Stairs, sure, awesome, awesome
Go
set
from one
piece.
place to another.
Yeah,
You know?
up and down, the descent
Can't
into
just
madness. Gotcha.
Information about this movie. Apparently Steph Lady wrote the original script, and it was sold to Francis Ford Coppola's American Zoetrope company.
Mm-hmm.
And Coppola was originally intended to direct the movie, but instead elected to serve as executive producer. But he wanted De Niro cast as the creature above all else. Then De Niro was the one who brought in Branagh. And then Branagh brought in Frank Darabont to write a second draft, insisting on including elements from the novel that had not been present in the script. What's funny is, so after the movie came out, Steph Lady said the film was a shocking disappointment, a misshapen monster born of Kenneth Branagh's runaway ego. He took a poignant, thought-provoking tragedy and turned it into a heavy metal monster movie.
Mm-hmm.
The casting of Robert De Niro as the monster was beyond inexplicable. And then
Who said
Frank
this?
Darabont,
Who quoted
the
saying that?
original writer, Steph Lady,
Okay.
one who sold the script. And Frank Darabont did the second draft, called the film the best script I ever wrote and the worst movie I've ever seen. He said, there's a weird doppelganger effect when I watch the movie. Kind of like the movie I wrote, but not at all like the movie I wrote. Has no patience for subtlety, has no patience for quiet moments, and has no patience, period. Big and loud and blunt, and rephrased by the director at every possible turn. Cumulatively, the effect was a totally different movie. I don't know why Branagh needed to make this big, loud film. Material was subtle. Shelley's book was way out there in a lot of ways, but it's also very subtle. I don't know why it had to be this operatic attempt at filmmaking. Shelley's book is not operatic. It whispers at you a lot. The movie was a bad one. That was my Waterloo. That's where I really got my ass kicked most as a screenwriter. He really took the brunt of the blame for that film, which was appropriate. That movie was his vision entirely. If you love that movie, you could throw all your roses at Kenneth Branagh's feet. If you hated it, throw your spears there too, because that was his movie.
Oh, deep, dude. That's... Yeah, I mean, I agree with some of those things, but I mean, I can't say that I didn't like some of the scenes. Like,
Right.
the scenes that I liked, you know, were
Obviously, they had like more like personal, emotional attachment to it than
of
we
course,
do, right?
yeah, of course. The stuff that hits the right notes for me was when Frankenstein, Robert De Niro, is like learning from the family in the woods, and he becomes the spirit of the forest, and the kids are like giving him thanks and tithes and things like that. I just found that kind of interesting, and that concept of like this spirit of the forest like helping this family out and just protecting them, and he's just like this. Yeah, I mean, if they just stuck with that concept and he has to like fight off some like muggers or something like that coming to the house and protecting the family, that'd be awesome. But I mean, it's just an outlet for them to just get pissed at him and him to run away crying, being like, I'm not a monster. Nobody understands me. But yeah, that's like the only redeemable thing maybe about the film. I don't know. The side character, Tom Hulse, I don't know if you recall us talking about him a little bit. He was a okay part of the film. Like, he served a purpose. He was pretty decent as like a friend and a colleague of Kenneth Branagh, like another would-be doctor, but he's kind of squeamish and doesn't really take to the autopsy scenes very well, and I thought that was kind of good. But yeah,
Here's an idea. Here's a wild and crazy idea that maybe, you know, let's let Kenneth Branagh direct. Sure, let him do his thing, but let's have Tom play Victor. How about that? Maybe get somebody in there who's not gonna be like worried about being shirtless and who can be a little bit more like neurotic at times, or like
yeah,
look like play that frayed or like fraying character, you know?
yep,
Yeah.
See dissent rather than just like I'm going to be all like, but Kenneth Branagh played it like less like somebody who is coming apart at the seams and like obsessed and like losing himself over many different reasons, and more just like hunk,
Horny.
moodier hunk, moodiest hunk.
horny hunk.
Like never got away from hunk, and we didn't ever need hunk as part of it.
The I'm on an image right now of the scene where Frankenstein is pulling the monster out of the vat of like viscous oil, and they're like slipping around. Like, what was that scene? That scene just was
Yeah.
blowing me away. I was like, all right, guys, we get it. Why are we sticking to this like slapstick slipping around on this oil, like this baby oil just all over these guys? It was
Man, can you imagine a world like living in a world where we get a Francis Ford Coppola directed Dracula and Frankenstein movie? Like, that'd be crazy.
that would be interesting if he did a back to back, or like a back to back to back where he did like The Mummy also or something like that.
But I mean, like Eric said, he apparently was at one point in talks to want to be like, I think did you say write and direct or just direct?
His production company bought the script, so he was gonna do direct. He was gonna direct it too, but he ended up just producing it.
Just producing. But I mean, like, wow, in the world where he did end up directing it. I can only imagine that he had something in mind for De Niro and probably could have gotten a different, like total product out of that for what De Niro's part of it was.
Right.
Yeah, I totally think that would be interesting to see a Coppola Frankenstein.
Travis, I'm out here in the forest.
Travis.
I'm out here in the forest. I'm cold, Travis.
Yeah, just to kind of wrap things up on this discussion of Frankenstein, we kind of wanted to, we did at the beginning of this video, we did reference that we went through these old Universal monster films last year, and then we have this Guillermo Del Toro one coming out that, what Bradshaw said was really interesting, that, Guillermo talked about the Frank Darabont script and hopefully is doing some kind of loose adaptation or maybe some concepts in there in his film. I'd be very interested to see, and I am very excited to see his version of Frankenstein, because from what I've seen from the interviews and things like that with Oscar Isaac and Jacob Elordi, that it is a dynamic of a father and son, but also who sees who as like the more powerful or more intellectual being. And that is a concept from the book where the monster, the creature, becomes very adept and very like superhuman with his intelligence and his like skills and his physicality, and even like his looks. Like he's portrayed, or he's described in the book as pretty like kind of handsome.
Yeah.
And so that's an interesting kind of dynamic I want to see in Guillermo's, and I hope they do touch on that in some respects. But yeah, we'll wait to see, because what we learned, Bradshaw and I, our hearts sunk a little bit when we heard that it's only in select cities, so it's not coming to our locale, but we'll have to wait.
till Netflix debut.
Yeah, we'll have to wait till
What,
November 7th?
17th?
17th? I thought it was earlier than this. I don't know, but yeah, I'm
on. Just a second. I'm going. I'm doing it. I'm doing it right now, dude.
we both threw out a 7, so it's one of those two.
Oh, dude, we were both kind of right. So the limited theatrical release starts on October 17th. And then Netflix release is November 7th. So you were right.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the theatrical release date.
You were just wrong.
I was wrong. Yeah, exactly. You spin
Right, left.
You're right, left.
wrong.
I'm right.
Wait, you want me to go left or you want me to go right?
Right.
Right. I mean, no, that's correct. Which one?
I'm not even
I don't
driving.
know. I know, I'm confused. I don't know which way we're going, which way we're coming from. I don't know.
You're driving. Yeah, we'll sign off here. Thanks for watching, and stay spooky. It's spooky season. Boo! Scared you. I got you.
Spooked.